Yo, listeners, viewers, following the show, you know what time it is. First quarter, here's where we chopping it up. And in this chopping it up segment, we're going to talk about addressing off-season workouts. So if you guys have been living under a rock and not really paying attention to what's been happening in the NFL world, Ja'Wuan James tears his Achilles. He tore his Achilles working out away from the facility. So the league sent a memo reminding teams to encourage their players to work out at team facilities using James by name. So basically they're saying, Pat P, and I'm pretty sure you're familiar with the story. I'm just filling in our listeners and our viewers. Because Ja'Wuan James was injured working away from the facility, he's the current starter for the Denver Broncos offensive tackle is his position. Because he got injured working away from the facility, there's a good chance he might not get paid this season. And I think his salary for this year was $10 million. So they're basically saying they pretty much could void that salary. So the NFLPA wrote in an email, it was gutless to use a player's serious injury as a scare tactic to get you to come running back to those workouts. This memo is another sign of what they think of you, and also affirms that they simply want to control you year-round in any and every way that they can. Like I said, Ja'Wuan James, he suffered Achilles injury during his off-site workout. Broncos have options under new CBA. They could decide to pay or not pay James. He's owed $9.85 million exactly, guaranteed in 2021 salary. The team could seek to recover $3 million signing bonus. Team could choose to pay or not pay for surgery and rehab.
Wow.
He opted out last year because of COVID. So the players union is clearly pushing for the team to pay James. So get this. They could decide to not pay his $9.85
and not pay his surgery.
And not pay for his surgery and his rehab. Pat P, hearing that, current Minnesota Vikings, how you feeling?
Man, I think that's bizarre, man, because that injury can happen anywhere, anytime. Yeah, granted, it's from away from the facility, but at the same time, we're off of football from the first week of January, and we have to be back in April. That's 3.5 months. Guys, I understand football is definitely our job, and most guys understand what it takes to be in shape and obviously be prepared for a season, because think about the guys who's coming in, they're working out year round. Guys who's in the league, the guys who's going to be in the league for a long time, they're working out. So you telling me during that 3 months and a half, you don't want us to work out at all and only work back out with the facility at the team facility? That don't make any sense, because that injury can happen any given time doing anything. He could have been walking down the steps and he could have tore his Achilles. He was just doing something that was going to help him be prepared for the season. And he got hurt.
They said, Pat P, they said he was actually doing drills that his coaches.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He was doing
something
to get him prepared for the season. That those type of things happen. It's a freak accident. And I don't think you should penalize a guy for doing something that he loved, making sure that he's prepared for the season. And at the same time, the team gave us options to come up to after May 17th. So what's the issue?
And to piggyback on what you're saying,
you can't even work out right now with the team anyway.
If Ja'Wuan James was playing basketball, playing volleyball, riding a bike, doing
I can see that.
Now, if you feel some type of way, he's out playing basketball or playing flag football or
that's right.
Whatever.
He's out there doing football drills
to get better.
Exactly.
To get better.
He is being a pro.
But let me throw something out to you, Pat P, and for our listeners and our viewers checking us out. We're talking about Ja'Wuan James, how the NFL is basically saying it's up to the team to pay his salary this upcoming season because he's on IR. He has a season-ending Achilles injury, and it's up to the team to pay for his surgery and his rehab. But let me throw this out to you, Pat P. So this past weekend, DK ran 100 meter race.
Yeah.
And if you follow the NFL social media page, Twitter page to be exact, they congratulated him.
Yeah.
And they basically in a celebratory fashion, they were like celebrating the accomplishment of running a race against Olympic runners.
Right.
Now, the question I have for you, Pat P, for the people that are watching and listening to us, that's doing something off-site, right?
Right. So yeah.
Right. So, if you're congratulating DK for doing something that many NFL players would never think to do and competing, why are you condemning Jawan for working out?
Right.
DK ran a race, right? Didn't get hurt, but he ran a race. You congratulating him. Jawan was working out, trying to get better for the upcoming season and tore his Achilles, but now he's being condemned. And basically, it's up to the teams. It's up to the team to pay for the surgery, rehab, and pay for his salary. I don't understand it. So where's the field goal is moving for some players or for some situations compared to what's going on with Jawan James? What do you think about that? Hearing how they congratulated DK, and we always happy that he went out.
No doubt about it. Definitely happy. Happy that he went out there and what it was, a 10-3-6.
Oh,
something crazy like that.
Oh, you know the time.
Yeah, it's the 10-3-6 or something like 10-3-8, 10-3-6. Was that in my? Pat. Was that in the question? Was that has Pat heard? Go ahead X that out, Matt. Go ahead and X that out, man.
I'm gonna give you a point. You got an early point already. God damn, you prepared today. Yeah, you got an early point. Has Pat heard? You got one already.
But I think it's a little bogus though to, like you said, to be congratulating, DK doing something away from football. You know what I mean? So granted,
away from the facility.
Away from the facility. So if he was, God forbid that he didn't, and I don't know if he's going to continue. I don't know, what happened, what place he came in and all that stuff. And if he's, going on to the next round or whatever. But if he pulled his hamstring, like I said, God forbid, because, that's what track runners do. If he pulled his hamstring, will you have that same, compassion, or have that same kickback if he did that?
Yes, exactly. That's something we won't know, but
right.
I mean, they celebrated.
Jawan was doing something that was going to make him better, and I think the league. This is the opportunity to show that you care about your players, because I think if you put it into the owner's hands to pay or not play a player, they're gonna probably say, "I'm not going to play him." More, I mean, very highly, they're going to say, "Yep, he's on IR. He opted out last year." Man, that's another, you know what I mean? So they already looking at that. So why should we pay him? He's not on the team no more. So I think the NFL got to do a better job of protecting the players. Obviously the NFLPA is doing that, but the NFL has to do a better job of having the players' backs as well, because I don't think that's right, man.
I agree with you. Let us know how you feel. Give us your take on social media. Leave us a 5-star rating with your statement attached to it about this Jawan James situation. Should the team, pay his salary, or should they continue to stand firm like they're doing and not knowing if they will pay this salary, but also pay for the surgery?
Not pay for the surgery, bro.
The surgery in the rehab? Dang, that's tough.
That's
that right there is tough, bro.
No doubt about it.
That right there is tough. That's cold blood if they don't pay for the surgery and the rehab. But
he's still an NFL player.
And also too, we got to make sure we emphasize that the Broncos haven't made a decision yet. We just give you their options.
Right. And at the same time, he's still an NFL player, and he's still on an NFL team.
No question.
So why would he have to go out and pay for his own surgery, or the team can opt out from paying his surgery?
Yes, that's bogus. That's bogus. All right. We're going to monitor this story and see exactly what happens. But Denver, do the right thing. We got Teddy Bridgewater coming on the show. He plays with the Broncos. He does the right thing. Come on, Broncos. Do the right thing for Mr. James. Oh, now it's time.
Get him to the punch.
Yeah. Your favorite part of the show, my favorite part of the show. Has Pat heard? Has Pat heard is a part of the show we decided to implement if you're new to the show, because during the offseason, Pat is not understanding or paying attention to what is going on in sports. He's traveling. He's on the golf course. He's getting ice cream with his babies. So he's not really listening or paying attention to television or anything like that. So he's kind of out of whack of what's going on in the sporting world. So we wanted to see exactly how much out of whack he is. So we decided to add Has Pat heard? His overall record, he's gotten 27 right out of 42. That percentage is 64%. So he's well above 50%. So if he's a quarterback right now, he's completing, more than half of his passes. Last week, Pat P, you were 3 or 4. You got 3 right out of 4 questions. So far, Pat has already jumped out and got one right already. The DK
1-0,
Metcalf
baby.
run. You're 1-0. Hey, Pat, if you were to run the 100, not right now, but let's say when you was probably still year 2, year 3 in the league, if you were to run the 100, train for the 100, what time do you think you could clock?
Man, that 100 tough, yo.
You used to run the 100 in high school, right?
Yeah, I used to say my best time in high school, I want to say like a 10-9, somewhere in there.
Mm-hmm.
And, that's in high school, that's pretty fast.
Mm-hmm.
But that 100-yard, that 200 is even worse. But that 100-yard, around that 75-meter, hey, you're gonna start putting that head back versus keeping it.
You're gonna look like Buddha. You're gonna look like Buddha.
Man, speaking of running track, I'll never forget, man. Shoelace, Denard Robinson, man. We're in a state championship. We got us about is Deerfield, is Ely, Dillard, BA, Piper, and I can't remember the other 2 teams that was in there, and we always ran a fast time. Like we was a fast high school. I think we ran like sub 43s. So we was fast. So we got and we had Steve. Steve was our first leg. I cannot think of who our second leg or our third leg, but I was the anchor. So we got us like a nice little 7-meter lead coming into the curb, giving me the baton. Boom, got that thing. I'm out there, Mac. I'm leader of the pack. And you already know once you start hearing that woo.
What lane you were in?
I can't remember, but I think I had to be in the 4th or the 5th.
Oh, you were a good lane.
I think I was in the 4th lane, if I'm not mistaken. Shoelace was in the 5th lane because he ended up on my left, my right side finish. It came down to a photo finish, Mac. So anyway, getting down to the last 75, like I just talked about, last 75, 80 meters. Man, I hear the whoop. So now you know you got to dig.
He coming.
I say, oh man, where he at, man? Where he at? So
he coming.
So now I'm digging. I got the photo picture and everything, Mac. Put that head back. Now I see him at the corner of my eye. He literally won by because he had dreads. He literally won by like one of his dreads, bro, off a photo finish in the 2008 state finals, 4A through 6A.
Well, Robinson was fast.
Yeah, he was, man. But that 100, I don't know, Mac. That, like I said, if I was able to train for it, I'd be respectively. I'd probably run somewhere around like a 10-7, 10-6. I don't want to get myself too high and go out there and run a 10-8 or something like that. You know what I mean? But if I had to really work on it, those are probably the numbers I'd be satisfied with.
Okay, all right. So you already got one question right. Has Pat heard? Second question for you. Your new teammate, Adam Thielen. What stadium did Adam both compliment and criticize recently?
Lambeau.
Oh, whoa, okay. And, you got that one right. So a little background on that story with Adam Thielen. He commented, it was on Golf Subpar Podcast. Said the whole stadium is not nice. There's nothing fancy about it. It has bleacher seats. But he did call it his favorite place to play and said there's nothing better than beating the Packers in Lambeau Field. What's your favorite stadium? All the stadiums you played in, right? College, professionally, what's your favorite stadium to play in?
College, hands down, Death Valley. Can't nothing even come.
LSU.
Man, I can't front, man. That place crazy. But in the league, it's Seattle. Man, I love going down to Seattle, man, because they DJ be rolling, they fans be rolling. The atmosphere is always crazy. You're gonna get a little mist. It's gonna be a little cold. And like I said, when we play them, 9 times out of 10, the game comes down to the last drive. You know what I mean? And it's nothing like Adam said, it's nothing like beating Seattle in Seattle. You know what I mean? Especially, I'll never forget that time, man. They beat us 52-0, Mac, right? 4 minutes left in the ball game. It was like 4 minutes left in the ball game. And I can't remember. I think that's Russ' rookie year. If I'm not mistaken. It was 2013, Ken Wisenhunt last year. Maybe it could have been 12. But anyway, it's late in the season. Maybe it was early in the season. I think it was early in the season. They substitute Matt Flynn in. Guess what play they run first? First play. They're already up. Man, they ran a play action go on us, Mac.
Hey, you thinking y'all getting beat so bad, they gonna run the ball, get the clock out.
Man, we was like, whoa. Like, it's the game over. Let's put the kids to sleep, man. Go ahead, run this football. Let us get on back to
Play
our
action.
look
Hey,
out.
I know the entire secondary bit on the play action.
Man. No, actually, because I think we was in man. I think we was in man
Okay.
at that point. Because me and Richard Marshall was the corners. And I think they threw it like up the seam or something like that. And they incompleted the ball. But the fact that they ran
a play
action
being up that
and it was all go too, Mac. It wasn't like no seam go, no stop outside. It was all go.
He was trying to take a shot.
I was like, my goodness. So and when BA came, he kind of like put it in our heads like they beat y'all 52-0 and threw a go ball on y'all with 4 minutes ago. It was like, how y'all feel about that? For the guys that was on this team last year, how do y'all feel about that? And from that point, I think we only lost there once when BA was our head coach. And then ever since beating them guys there is always a good feeling. I don't care what our record is. We can go up there and win. Hey, we live in it.
So let's go back to LSU, because I know you had some crazy games there, but what was the best game fan-wise? Like loud, just
Florida, man. Florida 2009 when Tim Tebow came off the concussion against Kentucky. It was a close game. They beat us 14-0 or 14-7, if I'm not mistaken. But man, when I say that stadium was so loud, Mac, I literally, you know how you see like a TV screen like blurring, like shaking?
Yeah.
That's how the field was shaking while we was on the field preparing for a game, because he had just came off the concussion, and then it was like he ain't practiced all week, so we need to be loud as possible. You know how it is getting ready for the big games. We need to be loud as possible. This because we had an earthquake game like in the 80s or something like that where the stadium actually shook. So we're like, we got to make this like the earthquake game. You know, we got to make it tough for him, this, that, another. And Mac, when I say that job was rumbling, boy, oh my goodness. But the loudest I probably heard the stadium erupt, though, when I felt like I was like the king on campus, was against West Virginia when I hit that pose.
That punt return. Hey, you was a made man when you walked to campus the next day.
No doubt about it, because like after that, because I already I think that was like the fourth game of the season. And mind you, I'm already like second in FBS and punt returns and punt return yardage. I just broke the SEC. I think I broke the SEC record. I was 9 yards short of the SEC record. First game out with like 280 something yard return yards. And after that game, it was like I started getting like the Heisman pub. Like, you know, it started becoming like big for me. So, you know, I think that game really, because I think I didn't have a pick that game, but I had a couple of PBUs too. But I think that definitely put a nice buzz around my name at that time. And from that game on, I probably got, man, like 3 clean punt returns. It was like I wasn't getting no more punt returns.
They weren't kicking it to you.
I wasn't getting no more punt returns, man.
No question. Next question for you. So far, Pat P, man, if you get all of them right, we might have to retire this segment of the show. Yeah. We might have to retire.
Yeah, that's what
Next question for you. You got 2 more. Let's see if you can get both of them
talk
right.
to me.
What number will former guest of All Things Covered, J.C. Horn, wear for the Carolina Panthers this season?
Number 8.
Wow. Thanks.
I just saw him post that though.
Oh yeah, okay. Yeah. And why is he wearing number 8? You know why?
That I don't know. I did see the captions, but I saw he posted that maybe like 3 hours ago.
He's honoring Kobe.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Mamba mentality. I like that.
No question. Last one for you. Malcolm Butler will wear what number for Arizona?
Man, I ain't gonna say he's trying to be me, but he rocking 21.
Okay.
He rocked 21 and everywhere he been.
But
so I know it's in good hands, man. He's gonna go out there and get some picks. You know what I mean? Do his thing, represent the number very well. What?
I can tell you this much though, Pat B. A lot of Cardinal fans felt some type of way.
Oh yeah, what they say, man?
Man,
you know, I ain't been saying that. What they say?
Man, they didn't like it. They didn't like it. They didn't like it. They didn't like it. I guess for them it's too soon. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's too soon to have that number in the secondary already. But they didn't like it. So they backing you, even though you're a Viking now. Yeah. They feel some type of way.
Man, that's love, man. I appreciate Arizona, the fan base for looking at me in that manner. But I will say this. Never mind, I won't say that.
Okay. I'll say what you don't want to say.
What you gonna say? What else gonna say?
Some BS. That's what it is. That's what it is. Come on, man. This man gonna be in the Ring of Honor. You ain't even like, what we doing?
Yeah, all decade too. Last time I checked.
Future Hall of Famer.
Yeah, man. They got some. Man, I ain't gonna say it, man. I can't say it, man.
I'm gonna say what you don't want to say. It's BS. You feel me?
It is. But I want to say something else, but I ain't even gonna dive in this conversation.
Hey, well, don't worry. You get a chance to tell them how you get a chance to show them how you feel. Cause that schedule coming out tonight. So you get a chance to show
it come out tonight.
Well, but when this air, it will come out.
Oh man, I got excited, man. That's awesome. That's freaking awesome.
But I can tell you this much, Pat P. I got my brim on. I tip it to you. You got every one of them right. You got every question right in our task. So this is what we're gonna do. We gotta go to the committee. You see, should we retire this segment, this part of the show?
What I think y'all should do is let the committee come up with questions.
Or let the fans.
That's what I'm saying. Let the fans come up with questions. Send it in, and then we go, because it can be about anything. It don't have to be about sports.
Ooh, you ready for that?
I'm not, but it's gonna be funny. You know what I mean? It's gonna be dope. So they're gonna get me more up on game. You know what I
mean? No doubt. All right.
So let's keep past Pat Hurd and let's let the fans put in some questions, and we'll take the top 4.
Well, we just got one from a fan just now. Who is Jennifer Lopez dating right now?
Ben Affleck.
Dang. What the fuck?
Yeah. Okay. Coming fans. Yeah. And she used to date Ben Affleck back in the day, and they just decided to rekindle, man.
Dang.
Mm-hmm.
J-Lo.
Hey, that boy on fire, man.
Ben Affleck?
Somebody cool me down.
You on fire like Ben is right now.
Yes, sir.
Well, we're gonna have to see what we're gonna do. We're gonna go to the committee.
I like it, man. I think we should keep it going, though.
Okay.
I think we should keep it going.
All right. We're gonna keep it going then. But next week, we're gonna have some tough questions for you, Pat P.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, I'm with it.
But now it's time to jump into 7 questions. We had to rebrand 21 questions to 7 questions because now Pat P is going back to his high school days, going back to his LSU days, and he's rocking the number 7. So now it's called 7 questions. 7 questions is where we get a chance to interact with you, the listeners, and the viewers. If you want your question to be answered in the future, leave a question attached to a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts, and we may get to it on the show. We have a question coming from Jerk919. Shout out to Jerk. Thank you for your question, Jerk919. The question is for both of us. What athletes did you look up to in the locker room, and what advice did they give you when times were tough?
I always looked up to the quarterbacks, seeing because, Teddy spoke about, you're pretty much like the CEO of the team. It's a lot of, not pressure, but it's a lot of responsibilities. So, and we all know quarterbacks, they may have a bad game or, they may have a bad series. It's all about how you bounce back from it and how you handle, certain situations. And, the one I used to always watch was Carson Palmer. I talked about in my player tribune. Like, he was like one of my favorite teammates of all time. And he was just such a cool guy, treated everybody the same way. But at the same time, whenever he did have a bad game or not the game that he wanted, he knew what he had to do to go back to the drawing boards and to fix it, versus being like some young guys or other players that are kind of like get in that hole, kind of balled up and run from the fire. quarterbacks always have to, especially the good ones, they always have to stand up to the fire. And being a corner, we almost have the same responsibility now with this league being such a passing league and pass heavy and being on the island all the time. The rules stacked against us, so many things can go throughout just in one play. How are you able to react or bounce back from the negatives? And like I said, that's why I always like to watch the quarterbacks, seeing how they moving around, seeing how they preparing, seeing how they treat people and how they move around. So, the quarterbacks for me are the guys that I always looked up to in the locker room.
Yeah, good one. That's a good one. Carson Palmer definitely had some real good times out in AZ when he was there rocking with you guys, a stand-up guy, the ultimate professional. For me, I would say...
Yeah, some good ones. You got some legends.
I'll say Troy Polamalu. The reason why I looked up to Troy because he was the ultimate professional, a superstar player, but you didn't know he was a superstar. Always where he needed to be. He did things the right way. You know what I mean? And he was a guy who led by example, not by voice. Some of the best advice he gave me was to always exercise and display humility. Always respect the craft. Respect what it means to be a professional, regardless if you're a starter, regardless if you're on the practice squad. Never take for granted someone's role. Never take for granted your role. And the thing about Troy, he treated everybody the same. You could be someone who worked in the cafeteria. You can be someone who was part of the security team in the facility. He treated everybody with the utmost respect. And because of that, he was so well liked. So just how he went about his business. And if you spoke to Troy, you never would have known he was the future Hall of Famer that he's getting ready to become this offseason, this August. But he was so, cool, calm. I remember one time, he was Troy used to be weird sometimes. So Troy had all the fame, all the glory, the glory that we want from players, you know what I mean? All the money. So Troy had like a Scooby-Doo truck. Like the Scooby-Doo truck, right? So we used to joke with Troy all the time, like, man, Troy, stop doing that, man. You tripping, man. Spend something, right? So I remember I was I think I didn't drive or something like that to the facility or something was wrong. I didn't have my wheels or something like that. So Troy was like, Troy said, BMac. He's like, hey, BMac, you can borrow the truck if you want to. I looked, I said, what? He said, yes, here are the keys. You can borrow it. You can drive it. I said, Troy, I'm not driving that Scooby-Doo truck, Troy. I appreciate it. I ain't driving around Pittsburgh in that Scooby-Doo truck. He's like, huh? What do you mean? I said, I'm not driving that truck, Troy. I said, I'm gonna wait. I'm not riding that truck. What do you mean? Yeah, Troy doesn't start sounding like little Mike Jackson. We used to call him Baby Jesus. So soft spoken. What do you mean? Like so Pat P, he come to the sideline. Like we probably have like 2 series, right, that we didn't participate in. He'd be like, hey, Ike, what did you get in this formation? Okay. Like this is the flow of the game. We were on the sideline. So, people cussing, people talking loud. Right. He acting like he in the library. He'd be like, hey, BMac, what did you get in this formation? I'm like, I think I got a dig route. He'd be like, okay, thank you. Like, what? So we were like, what this man doing? What baby Jesus doing? Because on the sideline, he ain't doing nothing but praying all day. He praying. What are you talking about? Hey, the next series, they come out in the same formation.
He gonna get him a pick.
He go get it.
Oh, no doubt about it.
All you see is hair. That's all you see is hair.
Either diving for it or jumping over the dog offensive lineman to make a sack on the quarterback.
He'd be like, boy, baby Jesus done strike again, boy.
Strike again, man.
He'll strike again. But yeah, Troy Polamalu is big, man.
Is Troy from SoCal or is he from Hawaii? Where is he from?
Samoa. I think he's from Samoa.
Oh, okay.
Origin from Samoa, but of course, grew up in California.
Okay.
Anytime we used to go out to Diego, he used to get us that Hawaiian barbecue.
Yeah.
Boy, he used to be on point, boy. Anytime we go out to California, he used to get us that Hawaiian barbecue. But yeah. Origin from Samoa.
Okay.
But you know, I think Southern California is where he grew up, if I'm not mistaken. But thank you, Jerk 919 for that big time question. Like I said, if you want your question to be